Welcome to the Star Carter Personal Finance Channel. I hope you all are doing well on this Sunday afternoon. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to wait a while to see who's going to come in and join me. I really do appreciate all the love. So as y'all come in, y'all make sure y'all drop some purple hearts in the chat to let me know if you guys can hear me. I've been trying to set up my area this morning, so let me know in the chat. Drop me a purple heart if you can hear me. If y'all can hear me, drop me a purple heart so I know that you can hear me. Thank you, Monique. Monique said that she can hear me. Thank you. Thank y'all for the purple hearts. I sure do appreciate it. That's my favorite color. Thank you so much. Now, if you are a CRP member, which I think I see one in the chat right now, if you a CRP member, that means you in the Credit Ready program. Y'all hit me with a money bag sign. Hit me with a money bag emoji if you in the CRP and you in the chat. Thank you forever, Eve. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Christy. Is that my girl, Miss Christy, right there? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We got to talk about today's topic. Y'all. Because they out here doing wrong out here in these financial streets. Come on through, Miss Nikki, with these money bags, honey. Thank you. That's right. Thank you. Come on through, Miss Christy, with this money bag. Thank y'all, my CRP family. I sure appreciate y'all being on this live on YouTube. I sure appreciate all y'all love and support. Thank you so, so much. You know I love y'all. So we got to talk about it. I talked about it a little bit last week with my CRP members on our live last week. I had pulled up some articles because, you know, guys, I be trying to stay abreast of what's going on out here. And you know that I used to work in credit unions. My background has been in credit unions. I worked my first job out of college back in 2007. I was a teller, a part-time teller, and I worked my way up. And then my last time working in any financial institution was September the 1st of 2022. And I've been an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur ever since. So I got to look at this, what I had put down on the thumbnail, the $800,000 fraud that's going on with ex-employees of Navy Fed and some other people that has conspired with some other people to steal money from this credit union. I'm going to be talking to you guys about this from the perspective of somebody that used to work in a financial institution. So that's how I'm going to be addressing this issue today. I got me some hearts. Thank you so much, Miss Nikki. I love you. And we still got to get on our talk. I was waiting on you to hit me up, okay? Hey, Star, thank you so much. Hey, Miss Beth. Thank y'all so much for the love. I do appreciate it. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. I don't want to hold you guys up any longer. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. I got a couple of articles we're going to look at. I got a couple of news programs that we're going to look at. So y'all got y'all popcorn because it's going to be juicy, juicy, juicy. Hope y'all ready to sit in. So let me go ahead and get what I need to get up here on the screen.
To the latest details on the Navy Federal Credit Union fraud case in Columbus that involved hundreds of thousands of dollars. So far, 3 men have been arrested, but the Columbus Police Department says they're only the tip of the iceberg. News Here Tonight's Gabriella Johnson explains.
It's kind of like peeling an onion. It's every time we peel a layer, something else pops up. Columbus Police Property Crimes Unit is continuing to peel layers off of an ongoing investigation involving fraudulent activity at the Navy Federal Credit Union on Veterans Parkway in Columbus. So far, Stephen Barrett, Demetrius Redding, and most recently Curtis Davis have been arrested. But police say this isn't it.
Not 10 more and not one more, but we've got probably a handful more coming.
Davis, the third suspect, pleading not guilty in court Thursday. His attorney, Mike Garner, says he has only had 2 days to review his client's case.
He's accused of cashing one of the checks, and that's pretty much his role in it, was helping somebody else, according to what the police say.
Police say Davis reportedly got cash from Barrett on multiple occasions.
This situation, Mr. Davis was able to walk out of the bank with $122,000. As soon as they deposited the checks, they would either get cashier checks from Navy Fed or they would get actual cash. And we can see on video surveillance money envelopes, him putting in his pocket and then walking out the door.
But Garner says evidence is slim.
Just know that the evidence against him is very slight, and that's why apparently they've waited this long to make a case against him.
Police say the latest in this investigation came from those 2 checks deposited into the account of Christopher Upshaw, someone in federal prison, and another account belonging to Jermaine Thurkield Jr., who is deceased.
Mr. Davis, they were depositing checks into Mr. Upshaw's account. Jermaine Thurkield was a similar situation. His account was being used to deposit checks, withdraw cash, things like that. And all of that fraudulent activity in Mr. Thurkield's account happened after he was deceased. Mr. Upshaw is in federal prison for shooting at an FBI agent, so he can't consent.
Investigators say they will continue to peel back the layers of this onion and are certain that will mean more arrests in the days ahead.
That was Gabriella Johnson reporting. No bond was set for Curtis Davis in court since he was out on bond from an unrelated case from a few years ago. His attorney says they hope for bond in.
Well, let's look at some more, guys, before we get into the complete talk. Because it's these people want to go to jail, y'all. They think it's a joke. They want to go to jail. They really do. Now, this
Ever
guy
since I
right
was
here,
young, my dream has been to open a chocolate shop.
this guy right here, while we waiting on this ad, he used to work at a credit union. He used to work at Navy Fed, not a credit union. He used to work at Navy Fed. So I'm gonna talk about this person who used to work there, cause he he gonna get it worst of all. Now, what's going on with the sound? Come on, thing. What's going on with the sound now?
Crimes adding up.
All right, here we go, y'all. I'm sorry. Technology be
Story. Columbus police giving us new details tonight on a Columbus financial institution employee who is accused of fraud crimes adding up to nearly $1 million. A scary scenario, as most of us want to trust our money is safe at banks. Newsletter 9's Gabriella Johnson joins us live in studio after learning more about this arrest from the property crimes detective on the case. Gabriella, banks, have tough security. So how did this employee slip through the cracks?
Well, Jason, Columbus detectives say he committed his crimes under the noses of surveillance cameras and courtesy officers, using legitimate customers at his desk during regular hours as he covered up while he deposited fake checks, opened car loans, and sent money to himself. Now, Steve Verrett, former Navy Federal Credit Union employee, is in the Muskogee County Jail.
We really don't know how big this is.
Columbus Police Property and Violent Crimes units made an arrest in a fraud investigation they got wind of several months ago.
It started with a call from North Carolina, detective in North Carolina. They were working some check fraud cases, and the checks were being funneled through a bank account, and the account holder lived here in Columbus.
That led to the person whose account the check traced back to reaching out to police saying they didn't commit a crime.
Started putting some things together, and that led us to the Navy Federal Credit Union employee actually being the one that was depositing the checks.
That employee is Stephen Barrett, who police arrested this week at his second job. He's now charged with forgery and identity fraud, adding up to $800,000, prompting him to be fired from Navy Federal in February, according to Sergeant Jane Edenfield.
15 what were warrants that became charges off of one bank account. And then there's 7 other bank accounts. So we're having to work it by account and what happened. Because like this one, it was checks. There's a couple other accounts where vehicle loans were opened, but there was no vehicle. Like somebody legitimately has the vehicle and they're driving it, but they got the money for the vehicle. Well, that's one of the other accounts. This arrest was the very tip of the iceberg.
Police say additional charges for Barrett and arrest of co-conspirators are pending.
Be multiple arrest warrants for multiple people per those 8-9 accounts. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, that's going to be 15 arrest warrants per account.
And Sergeant Edenfield tells me that during the arrest Tuesday for Barrett, he was telling police that he's innocent. He's scheduled for a preliminary hearing in Columbus Recorder's Court this Friday at 9 a.m. We'll keep you updated on this large fraud investigation. In studio, Gabriella Johnson for WTVM News Leader 9.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm sure new details will come out in court later this week as well. All right, thank you, Gabriella.
If you look around, everything is I own Pirate Worldwide. We're on a mission to discover as many ideas.
Oh. Shut up. Excuse me, y'all. This thing is really acting up on me right now. Like I said, the teching is really teching right now. Okay. So as y'all seen in those 2 news clips that I just let y'all view, that these people out here really playing with Navy Fed. They really out here playing with Navy Fed. Like they acting like credit unions are just like dumb institutions. And you talking about Navy Fed, who is the biggest credit union in the world. In the world. And you out there just playing in this credit union face like you was not going to get caught. And the dude, that Stephen Barrett dude that used to work at Navy Fed, like I think they said that he started working there sometime in 2017. So he is a member service representative, and I'm going to pull that up. A member service representative, that's what his title is when you are a teller. A teller is a member service representative, or you could be customer service, like a higher level customer service. You could possibly be, what bankers call customer service, but in credit union lingo is member service, because credit unions, you're a member, you're not a customer. That's supposed to be, the difference between the two, right? And so you got this guy that used to work there, and while he's working there, he is making up money that's not his. So whether he is generating fake checks using whoever route number, account number, whatever bank, they're not saying any of that information, but he's generating fake checks, and he's got this whole ring of people that he is allowing to work with him by depositing these checks. And also, I believe that he's not the one that was actually getting the fake car loans. He was probably telling them what to do. He probably was telling them, since Navy Fed, which they really need to stop this policy. This is a terrible policy that they have, where they allow people to get the check before they even get a car. Like if you get approved for a car loan with them, they'll give you a check up to whatever they approve you for as far as getting the car, and just send you a check and just say, okay, go out there and find your car, or however that works. I got a client that told me that, they just gave her a $40,000 check, and it's like, okay, just go find you a car, and then once you find the car, you can, send the information in. There's no checks and balance for that. So I've seen even on TikTok, even on YouTube, where people are telling them how to fake getting a car and keep the cash, and send them in some old random VIN number from off a car that's in a junkyard or salvage or something, because they must not be checking everything, or if they wasn't, they should be. So you got this inside person that's working for this credit union, right? And he feels like he knows all the ins and outs, and telling these people that he done got arrested with him to do these illegal things, depositing fake checks, withdrawing the cash, however they're doing this scheme. Because he works there, he's telling them like he knows what he's doing, and like they're not going to get caught. Well, my time working in credit union, them auditors that come in from the NCUA, those auditors that come in, depending on the size of your credit union, how many come in at one time, they check in everything from the rooters to the tutors, right? And the NUCA, just in case if you don't know, is equivalent to the FDIC for the bank. The FDIC that insures, the money up to $250,000. The NCUA does the same thing for the credit unions. So they're going to come in, and you got other auditors. You got internal auditors. You got the league, the credit union league of the region auditors that come in. So it's a lot of auditors that come in to make sure that credit unions are on point, right? Just like bank regulators, they're credit union regulators. They're credit union auditors. They're internal auditors. They're all kind of auditors. Even credit unions that I worked at, they had their accounting firm to do auditing as well, internal auditing and stuff like that. So it's a lot of audits that go on in the credit union. So this dude right here, this Steven Variant dude, obviously was not smart enough in his role to know all those different audits and all those different things that go on that he might not see in the branches, just because this is a huge credit union. So you may not see these auditors actually come into your particular branch. You might not see them. So you're thinking that you're just going to slide underneath the radar with your crimes, not realizing, because this credit union is so large, they probably have a huge team of auditors that's coming in and checking everything, right? Checking everything, especially on the lending side. When you're talking about a car, they're checking everything. They got different boards and committees that check all that stuff to make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. And these people just playing in their face like, y'all ain't going to jail. Like when I saw this, because even though I don't work in the bank anymore, I don't work in the credit union anymore, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Just because I still look at the Credit Union Times. It's a magazine that comes out and lets you know what's going on out there in the world of credit unions, because credit unions always be near and dear to my heart. So when I was sitting here looking at these articles that's coming in that I'm seeing, and I talked about it with my CRP members last week, and I was like, these people really out here playing in their fair face. They don't think they're going to go to federal prison? And I don't think some of these people that are doing these crimes know what federal prison is. It's not like you do a little bit of time and you get out for good behavior. No, federal prison is when you go to jail day for day. You're going to be up in there. If you got whatever they give you, you're going to serve every last one of those days. Every last one of those days. And so these people out here really, really playing with Navy Fed. And I've did several videos on my channel, because not just, people that used to work there, but you got folk, backdoor getting in the Navy Fed, doing the same thing, getting car loan checks and not doing what they're supposed to do with those car loan checks, or getting these high limit credit cards and running it up and not paying these people back. Y'all are going to get yourself in trouble. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. You're going to wind up getting yourself in trouble. Big trouble, as my grandma said. You're going to wind up cashing a check. But they say you're going to write a check that your butt can't cash. That's what my grandma's always say. They are writing checks that they butt cannot cash. They don't think that there's going to be repercussions of this. And I think this guy that used to work at the credit union was a little bit too comfortable in his role. Because like I said, just because Navy Fed is so big, he might not thought that they was going to be able to catch him, or thinking that he going to be able to slide. But dude, you're doing almost $1 million in fraud. This is not no little money. You're doing almost $1 million in fraud. So this guy's an idiot. All I can say. He was a straight up idiot, because I work, like I said, I worked in credit unions all the time that I worked there. And I never ever once thought to do anything crazy with these people money, because you go through what they call teller school. I can't say all credit unions, but the credit union I first worked at, they sent me to teller school to learn, because I had never worked in a financial institution. So they sent me to teller school so that I can learn everything about being a teller. Like, that's the real thing, because you're cashing checks, you're making deposits, you're making withdrawals, you're taking people's loan payments, you are handling a lot of money on a daily basis. And you need to know what to look for and all those different things. And it's a serious job. It's one of the lowest paying jobs, because just like most other, companies, whatever the frontline staff is, they usually get paid the less. The managers and all the other different things, they get paid the most. But the people on the front line, you do the most work and you have the most risk, because people coming in all the time bringing you a check, and you don't know if this check is good or if this check is bad, right? So this dude right here, this Stephen Varian dude, that convinced these other guys that done got locked up with him that he probably know what he's talking about, since he's been working there. He probably gave them some kind of reassurance that this is going to work out. Just playing in his, at the time, employer's face. Like Navy Fed don't have the money or the means to make sure that their books is taken care of and audited and all that stuff like it's supposed to be by the NCUA regulators. Okay. I'm gonna pull up this comment. Miss Sheila Gay said, I had to change my debit card. Someone stole my information and just started using it like crazy. I notified Navy Fed and they got right on it and they did a great job. See, it's so much fraud and scams going on right now that everybody has just got to be careful. And she also said, hey, yeah, they messing with people money. They are going to get caught. Exactly. They're going to get caught. It is no way around that. They're going to get caught. Let me pull up some more articles that I want to talk about real quick. And y'all keep putting those comments in the chat for me. And so not just those ones that we saw. Now these crimes, like that lady said, these crimes is all over different states. Now she said North Carolina. These ones, the three that they had showed in those news clippings, they are in Georgia. They got fraud going on in Louisiana with Navy Fed. They got fraud going on in Maryland. Okay. They are really playing with Navy Fed. Like they really playing. And a lot of them are ex-employees or ex-employees getting people to do their bidding, thinking that they're going to get away with it. And they all going to jail. Every last one of them, they going to jail, playing in Navy Fed face. So it says right here, former Navy federal employee sent to prison for a fraud scheme. Jalen Craig McMillan and his co-defendants intended to steal more than $400,000. These people are crazy. There's no way. There's no way. Maryland, we in Maryland now. Maryland federal prosecutors described Jalen Craig McMillan as a corrupt former bank employee who facilitated a sophisticated fraud scheme to steal more than $420,000 from Navy Federal. Earlier this year, a grand jury found the fraudulent insider guilty of 3 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy, and 11 counts of aggravated identity theft, y'all. Because a lot of these people, these ex-bank employees, were using real member accounts. Not only were they soliciting people to use their account, want to pay them. It's like me coming up to you and being like, hey, I got this check right here. I'm gonna give you $1,000 if you cash it or put it in your account, and then tomorrow, you withdraw the money out, and then I'm gonna give you $1,000 to do it. That kind of thing. For these crimes, U.S. District Judge Peter J. Messett in Greenbelt sentenced McMillan, only 30 years old, of Jessup, Maryland, last week to 54 months in federal prison and 5 years of supervised release and ordered him to pay restitution of $165,891 and a $500 assessment. Following the sentencing hearing on June 6, McMillan was taken into custody to begin his prison sentence. On that same day, his lawyer filed an appeal. What you appealing for? He used to work there. What you appealing for? He guilty. According to the evidence presented before a jury during his 4-day trial in February, McMillan used his position as a Navy Federal Member Service Representative, a teller. He was a teller. That's what a member service representative is. Or like I said, or a higher level. He might have been the lead teller, or he could have been, like I said, a higher up in customer service. But either way, he wasn't a manager. He wasn't none of that. Member service representative at the credit union's Laurel, Maryland branch to open accounts using stolen identities of other persons, and at times the identities of Navy Federal members, to make fraudulent financial transactions. He facilitated this scheme along with 4 other co-defendants, including Javon Bell, who also worked at the same Navy Federal branch as a member service representative with McMillan. So now you got co-workers. You got co-workers thinking that they finna just play in they employer face, Navy Fed. All right, so they think that they're smart. They think they're smart. So Bell pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit bank fraud and is scheduled to be sentenced in July, according to court filings. The other 3 co-defendants were not Navy Federal employees and included Archie Arnold, 31, of Laurel, Maryland, John Fitzgerald Washington, 52, who need his butt kicked because he should know better. These 30-year-olds should know better too, but this 52-year-old, he grown. He's super grown. He should know better. And let's see, and he's from Woodruff, Maryland, and Tiffany Williams, 37, of Glendarden, Maryland. I hope I'm saying that right. Glenarden, Maryland. So it's going on up in Maryland too. These people really playing around in Navy Fed face right now. So what it says, Paul and Williams used the false identification documents to impersonate the victims. They stealing people's identities. With the help of McMillan, they opened Navy Federal accounts to facilitate fraudulent financial transactions, including making large withdrawals from accounts. In one instance, Navy Federal records showed that McMillan opened an account for Paul under the identity of a Navy Federal member and then used that member's personal identification to apply for a $15,000 personal loan, which was approved. McMillan withdrew the $15,000 and gave it to Paul, according to court documents. So McMillan got access to members' information. So when you're a teller, you can see all that. So that's what I'm saying. He's on the low level, but he's high enough that he can open up an account. So he's probably a lead teller. So he's probably opened up an account or a sit-down member service rep, like I said, a higher up customer service person. So when you got a teller window up, you can see everything about that member, right? You can see, of course, all their demographic information, but depending on the system, you might can even see what their credit score is, because as members are coming in, if they got where their credit is right there on the screen, you can shop them. You've been in a bank before, a credit union. They're like, you want to apply for our such and such credit card today? You like you're a good candidate. It's got 2% cash back, blah, 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 blah. They're trying to sell you something. That's because they already looking at your profile and seeing that you're likely to be approved, right? So this dude right here, he already done stole somebody's identity because he's got their name, he's got their social security number, he's got their like I said, all the information. He even got their IDs, because anytime you know, when you first open up an account, you got to provide your ID, whether it's just a regular identification or a driver's license or something. You got to show that you are who you say you are. You got to have picture ID or some sort, passport or something. So he's got these people's documents that he can use to make a fake account. And then because he's got these people's information, he knows who got good credit. So he knew that $15,000 loan was going to get approved because he could see these people's information. You think he would have just picked a random person that he didn't think that was going to go through? No, he knew it. He probably already knew. He probably already saw where this member probably had a really good relationship with Navy Fed, and probably was banking on them not checking their account or them not checking their credit. That's why I tell you guys, you got to keep your credit froze. You got to, because now you got people inside of financial institutions that have your information, you know, because you got these dishonest people working as tellers, right? And they are opening up accounts because they know your information, because your information is inside of the database of that financial institution. And we got to have tellers. We got to have customer service. We got to have these things. So what do when you got these corrupt people inside of the financial institutions on the front line? Okay, these are frontline staffers right here that handle the most of member information, the most of it. You don't go to a loan officer. The loan officer don't see your information until you're about to apply for a loan, and then it goes to underwriting and da 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 da. But the tellers see your information all the time. Every time you go in there to cash a check, every time you go in there to make a deposit, anytime you go in there to make a withdrawal, whatever it is that you're doing, making your loan payment, whatever, they are seeing your information on a constant, daily, weekly, monthly, however often you do business with your credit union. They're seeing it all the time. So you need to make sure that you are keeping your credit reports frozen, because it's not just these hackers out here that's over across the seas somewhere, you know, that's trying to get your information. You got people inside of the financial institutions that are not honest as well. So that's why you need to keep your credit froze at all times. It was 4 years ago, I had somebody trying to open up a Navy Fed account in my name. They tried to open up a Wells Fargo account in my name. They did open up a Bank of America checking and savings account in my name, because Bank of America didn't check jack. Okay. So you got people, but they probably tried to apply for credit, but my credit was always froze. My credit stayed froze. So the only ones that they were able to open up the bank accounts was Bank of America. But the idiots had the debit card sent to my house. So that's how I found out about it. So you got to be careful. You got people working in these financial institutions that are not honest people. Let's look at some more stuff. Let me look at some comments while we're on here. Let's see here. Let me go back up. Thank you. That's right. Please, hello, Miss. Is it Genius? I hope I'm saying it right. Say hello, everyone. Don't forget to smash the like button. Y'all, please smash the like button. Let me see what else we got out here. And see, I was robbed in 2016 at $7,000 through Navy Fed from this fraudulent guy. I'm sorry you went through that, honey. I really am. Miss Nikki, she said scary. It is scary, because these are the places where you think your money is going to be the safest, you know. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that too. Can we sue the company if their employees steal our information? Well, it's probably a whole lot of things that's going to have to go behind the scenes with that. First of all, you probably going to have to file a police report, go through the Federal Trade Commission for somebody that lost their identity. You know, go through that whole thing of getting all that wiped off your credit and all that kind of stuff. But I would definitely look into it. I would. I mean, why not? You know, I would. And Miss Nikki said, good question. I would, because, you know, you might not can't sue the actual financial institution because, you know, they didn't know who they hired was a crook. You know what I'm saying? But that person itself, they're going to jail. And they're gonna have to pay restitution, and hopefully that restitution goes back to the person who was the victim of the fraud. That's how it's supposed to work, right? Miss Tan say my credit stay ready. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But these people are they not bright. They're not bright. They're not, as my grandma said, they're not the sharpest tool in toolbox. Okay, they not. Because why would you do that? You know, just why? Why would you do that? I got some more articles now. I got some more. I'll tell you, it's a whole heap of them right now. These people want to go to jail. They want to go to jail. Oh, that's not the one I was thinking about. It's just showing you it's just some more credit union crimes going on out here. It's so bad right now. It's so bad. Now check this one out, y'all. Now this was from July 24th, so this is really, really recent. Man pleads guilty in credit union fraud ring conspiracy. Evan Cutler admits to his role in stealing more than $113,000 from Broadview Federal Credit Union. This is in New York. The last defendant admitted to his role in a 5 fraud ring that conspired to steal more than $113,000 from a New York credit union. Evan Cutler, 25, of Queensboro, New York, pleaded guilty Monday to conspiring to commit bank fraud and aggravated identity theft, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Albany. Cutler admitted during federal court hearing that between February and October of 2022, he organized a conspiracy to defraud the $9.1 billion Broadview Federal Credit Union in Albany by applying for loans using stolen identities of members and withdrawing the loans in cash. He also admitted he and 4 other members of the conspiracy ring applied for loans in other people's names using fake New York driver's license with their photographs, but bearing the names and date of birth of other people. One of the co-conspirators was Kashara Cannon of Albany, a former member service manager at BFCU, who obtained member account information to create counterfeit checks, which was presented for negotiation at some of the credit union branches. She is scheduled to be sentenced in October. Cutler is expected to be sentenced in November. Other members of the fraud ring was there Allah, Devon Pearson, and I can't even say that name. What is that? Denitika Sturman and all of Albany, all of them up in New York, have pleaded guilty to conspiring to commit bank fraud, aggravated identity theft, and are awaiting sentencing. See, that's what I'm telling you guys. These people, this lady who worked there, she's the reason why these people went and opened up these fake accounts. Like I said, her being a branch manager, right? She got access to know what members, if we steal these members' identity, then we're gonna get some money because they got actual good credit. They got good credit. They not picking no random people. They picking people that they know the thing's gonna go through, and then they picking older people as well, because we know older people usually have good credit because they done bought everything they need, right? They usually done paid the house off. You know, if they still driving, their cars are normally paid off. They're well more established. They usually hit retirement, so they keep pretty good, decent balances in their checking and their savings account. Money market and all kind of stuff. So these people right here are favorable to go up in the financial institution and get whatever it is that they want. So that's why they stealing these people's identity. But it's because of the people that work in these credit unions that they know which members to do that to. They know which members to do that to. So that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it. So let me see. It was one more. that I was looking at. I'm telling you guys, these people is going crazy. Look at this one. This one says 6 Navy federal members face felony fraud charges. The members allegedly deposited fake checks into their accounts after targeting elderly bank customers. Now, I was telling you, they like doing it to older people that are more established, got more money. You know, that ain't checking they apps every, they banking apps and probably not checking their credit. They probably hadn't used their credit in years, It says federal prosecutors allege 6 members of the $178 billion Navy Federal Credit Union were involved in a bank fraud scheme with 15 other persons who had allegedly stolen an estimated $200,000 from 3 banks and the Vienna, Virginia-based financial cooperative. So that's where Navy Fed's main headquarters is in this Vienna, Virginia. An indictment announced last month by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Shreveport, Louisiana. See, now we down in Louisiana, okay? We done been in New York. We done been to Georgia. We done been to North Carolina, right? We going all over the place with this fraud. And it says, okay, alleged 4 other 21 suspects worked with 3 employees. Okay, here we go again. These people are working with folk from the inside. These are not just random people, right? Employees of Teleperformance Call Center in Shreveport to obtain account information related to USAA bank customers. Now check this out now. These employees alleged targeted elderly bank customers with high account balances because the suspects believed the elderly customers was less likely to regularly monitor their account activity. Exactly. That's what they do. That's what they do. They go after the elderly because a lot of times they're not checking everything. We got to make sure that we are checking on our elders as well. When I tell y'all to freeze y'all credit reports, make sure that y'all freezing grandma and granddads and aunties and uncles. Make sure that theirs is froze as well. Especially the ones that you know that are set and they ain't looking to buy nothing and they don't use their credit. Because a lot of the older people, they still believe in paying for cash for a lot of stuff. They're not real credit heavy like our generation is and the younger generations under us. Right? They still believe in paying for a lot of their stuff with cash because a lot of them didn't have credit back in the day, right? So they don't use it, right? So they are less likely to monitor the account activity. Using this account information, some of the co-conspirators made counterfeit checks drawn on USAA bank accounts. They also used social media and other methods to recruit individuals who were willing to have the counterfeit checks deposited into their bank accounts in exchange for money. So they trolling on social media. They all up in your inbox talking about, hey, I got a check. I give you a stack if you, that's how they talk on that slang. I give you a stack if you put it in your account. Or I give you a stack if you take this ID and open up this account. And now they got you on camera going inside this institution with this fake information. They got you on camera doing this. That's like that one time he's pleading not guilty because all he did was cash the check. Bruh, they got you on camera. They got you on camera. And you ain't gonna sit there and act like you know that check was no good. You're not gonna act like Steven didn't give you the check because they said you cashed multiple ones, right? But now you want to act like you ain't know. I ain't know all I was doing cashing the check. Okay. All right. So this fraud scheme occurred from January 2021 to October 2022. The indictment showed, according to the prosecutors, Shamaya S. Ponce deposited a fake $10,000 USA bank check into her Navy federal account on June the 13th of 2022. On the same day, I'm not going to even try to say this name. Y'all see it on the screen. Allegedly deposited a phony $15,000 USAA bank check into her Navy federal account. A few days later, on June 18th, McGinty and Charmaine Jackson were at a Bally's casino in Shreveport where they withdrew $7,000 from McGinty's credit union account. So what they was doing is they sitting there waiting for the money to go through, and then they're going to take the money back out. And then what's going to happen is the checks are fake. So it's going to throw this account in negative. What happened is whenever you take a bad check, right, even if you don't know the check is bad, y'all know how this process works. Okay, if somebody give you a check and the check is no good, but say you don't know the check is any good, you deposit it into your account. Or even if you don't deposit, say you cash it, they give you the cash, right? If the check comes back, what's going to happen is they're going to notify you, depending on how big the check is. It might be through mail. They might even get on the phone and call you, because if you're talking about $10,000 to $15,000 and it's coming back, somebody probably getting on the horn and trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, because you owe that money back. This money, your account now is in the red. That amount of that check, if you walked out of there with that money in your hand. Now, if you deposited the check and you haven't used the funds, all they'll do is just reverse deposit or take the funds back. But if you cash the check, your account is going to be that much in the negative of the amount of the check, because they already gave you the money. That's what happens. They already gave you the money. So they're cashing these fake checks on elderly people's accounts who have money, and say that they don't reconcile their bank statements. You know, some of the older people, it'd be a whole month. They waiting on it to come in the mail. They still get paper statements, right? And they might not even notice that $15,000, that check that done slid through. And then now the bank is just going to take the $15,000 out of their account, but they got money in their account. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. So on June 21st, Kyra Washington deposited a counterfeit check, a $16,000 USAA bank check, into her Navy Federal account. So now they got two banks they messing with. You got USAA Bank that y'all are making the fake checks on, and then you're taking it to Navy Federal, two big financial institutions, both of them military institutions, right? Just wow. 2 months later, on August 2nd, Navy Federal member, where these names come from, Taylor, deposited a fake $18,000 USAA check into her account, and on August the 17th, Tramika McGinty deposited a phony $5,000 check into her Navy Federal account, according to the indictment. All 6 Navy Federal members who live in Shreveport were each charged with one felony count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud. They are scheduled to be arraigned on the charges in federal court. 15 other suspects also deposited counterfeit USAA bank checks into their account at Chase Bank and Bank of America, according to the indictment. Whoo, doggy. What y'all talking about in this chat? Let's see what y'all talking about in this chat, because, boy, I tell you, these folks want to go to jail. I ain't never know nobody want to go to jail so much. These folks want to go to jail out here playing around with these credit unions and these banks. Do they not know that you're going to get time? Some of them, they're going to make examples out you, because you might not have never been in trouble. So you going to make examples. It's like going in the bank and holding somebody up, holding up a teller. The only difference is you're not going to get charged with having a weapon and nothing like that. But those charges, all those individual charges, everything that you do, see, that's the thing they think you're just going to get charged with a check or a bad check. See, that's what you got in your mind, criminals. You think you're just going to get charged with a bad check, but nah, you're going to get charged with all kind of different counts of what you did. If you use the internet, you got all those different charges. You got identity theft. You got all these different charges now that you probably weren't banking on. You probably was like, oh, it's just a bad check. I just probably get a bad check charge. Nah, because if you're using the internet, if you're using any of these different ways of doing your fraud, that's what they're going to charge you with, all these different counts. Wire fraud, bank fraud, what is it? Internet fraud, web fraud. They got all kind of frauds. They got all these different things they can charge you with. But you think it's just because you just deposited a bad check. You think you're just gonna get a counterfeit check fraud. Nah, that ain't how this working. This person says, absolutely disgusting that these folks are doing things at NFCU that are unethical, unlawful, and dishonest. Navy Federal, the Escrow Financial Institute, is just wrong. It is just wrong. It is just wrong. This person said Navy Federal should be fully restricted only to service members, veterans, and they should vet all future and current time employees. Also, don't put family members and friends onto Navy Fed due to this. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It really is bad, because it's bad for any financial institution to experience fraud. But when it comes down to your employees that you trust, like I said, I had to go through teller school when I became a teller. Well, like I said, a member service representative. And we had to learn the importance of keeping your members' information confidential, because you know so much stuff about that person. You got access to a lot of information. So the integrity of that employee, that frontline teller that that a lot of people don't respect and give them hard time and all that stuff, they got all your information. They know everything it is to know about you on the realm of your finances. They know everything. But you got people that are dishonest that's going to be out here using this information and trying to run a bag and going to jail. That's what they're doing. And these people that actually work in these credit unions that are doing this, and that are got these other people outside that don't know how this banking, don't know how it works, had never probably worked in the bank or nothing like that. They don't know none of this. Y'all are roping these people in, and they thinking that they're going to get away with it. Or like I said, going to get slapped on the wrist for a bad check. Nah, you going to federal prison. That's where you're going. This person said they should have knew the feds were coming after they touched over 50,000. Absolutely. Absolutely. They weren't thinking that far, though. Okay? They weren't thinking that far. These are dumb criminals. They weren't thinking that far. They wasn't. Only thing they thought of was doing it in somebody else's name, like I said, with them having the information to these people's accounts. And you got people that know how the banking work. They know that, okay, if you bring a check into your account, a lot of times these credit unions will hold the check. They'll hold the check too to make sure the check will clear, right? So some of these people that try to put it over into their account that they probably solicited on social media, they probably ain't had no money. They trying to put a $7,000 check into their account. They probably got held. And then by the time it came back in a couple of days or whatever, as no good, you know, they probably wasn't thinking about it being a whole fraud ring. You know what I'm saying? They just like, okay, where you get this check from? Oh, somebody sent it to me, or oh, my uncle sent it to me, and everything. No, just telling lies. And all they did was just, you know, they didn't give them any money. So them right there that didn't actually get any money because they didn't have the money in their account anyway, for them to not hold the check until the check cleared, they better be counting their lucky stars. But guess what? All them people that was all in that ring, when they get all those checks from the USAA Bank, when they get all those checks together, and they find out where all these checks was deposited at, guess what? They all going to jail. So the bank at that time might not have known that they was a part of a fraud ring, because they doing this probably at different institutions. Now that was Shreveport, but because like that other one we talking about that we listened to at the very beginning, she said that it started in North Carolina, but the guy that worked in the credit union was all the way in Georgia. They're soliciting people on social media. So these are people all over the United States that they're soliciting with these fake checks, right? And telling them that they're going to give them a little bit. All they got to do is put it in their account and then send them the money. Send them the rest of the money, or give them the money. And you keep so much, you know, for yourself, making you an accessory to your crime. That's what they doing, making you an accessory. They say, my son just went to boot camp, so we signed up for a Navy Fed before he left. I froze mine and my son's credit. Exactly. Please. I can't stress that enough. I done did videos, guys, on y'all making sure that you're checking your credit report on annualcreditreport.com every year. Ever since the pandemic, they have been allowing people to check their credit on annualcreditreport.com every week. I did a whole walkthrough video on my channel. Go back in my channel list. And if you have not ever checked your full credit report, I'm not talking about, you know, checking your credit score. I'm talking about checking your full detailed credit report, page by page, line by line, and making sure that everything on your credit report is accurate. You would be surprised at the people that have found out that they was victim of identity theft once they finally checked their full credit report. They had accounts in their name. They had no idea. They had no idea. And the accounts had been in their name. And see, the longer that account is in your name without you reporting it as fraud, it's harder to prove that it's not yours. Especially if the person that's committing the fraud has been paying their accounts on time. What about that? You know, people that's like parents or whatever. You know, I did a live about this dude's dad that stole his identity, his own father. And he was trying to buy a home. And that's when he realized, when he went to go try to get a pre-approval for a home, that's when he realized his dad that stole his identity. He had 2 credit cards in his name that was in collection. He had no clue. His dad did it. But he wasn't monitoring his credit either. He didn't have his credit froze either. So his dad had a social security number. His dad knew his social security number before he knew his social security number. It's his dad, right? And so his dad ran up a bag on him. And then gonna tell him, wait 4 years and you'll be all right. You can wait. You can wait. So we just got to be more careful, even with the people that are supposed to be the good guys in these financial institutions. That's supposed to be the ones that have the integrity and the honesty and protecting our privacy with our sensitive private information. They are using it. They are using it. I found another interesting article too. That's not it. Because I'm telling you, these people is out here. I look at this one. Now, this one right here was a mess. Prison sentence for man attempting blowtorch break-in at a credit union. A failed larceny attempt by Randall, whatever his last name is, triggers a fire that causes nearly $200,000 damages to OB Credit Union. A trained welder will spend 5.5 years in federal prison after he used a blowtorch and other power tools while attempting to break into an ATM, a deposit box, a teller window, and an exterior door that sparked a fire, causing nearly $200,000 in damage to the Tumwater, Washington branch of the $613 million OB Credit Union. During a court hearing last month, U.S. District Judge Benjamin H. Settle in Tacoma, Washington, also ordered Randall, 34, to pay $198,000 and $198. Am I not saying that right? I cannot read today. $198,018 in restitution and 3 years of supervised release following his 66-month prison term, according to U.S. Attorney's Office in Seattle. So now we're in Washington. So now we got people up in Washington. Look how he did this ATM teller and safety deposit box. Good grief. It's getting wild out here, y'all. That's all I can say. It's getting wild out here. These people out here blowtorching the credit unions now, trying to get up in the ATM and everything. It is crazy. It's crazy. They are doing the most. They doing the most. That's all I can say. It's wild. It's real wild out here. Let's see what else we got out here. They say, I seen these people on Facebook showing high numbers in their account and want to help you get money too. I know nothing is free, so I'm assuming this is the back end of it. Yep. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's just these people are itching to go to prison. I've never seen anything like it. All right, we got some more. I told you I got some more. It don't stop. It don't stop. It really don't. We're going to Idaho this time. Yep, we're going to Idaho this time. Yeah, we going to Idaho this time. So it says credit unions, internal investigation, which I told y'all they be investigating internally, leads to employee grand theft charge. Macy Wymore, who allegedly stole more than $60,000 from Idaho Central Credit Union, is expected to appear in court in August. A former employee, here we go, who allegedly stole more than $63,000 from the $11 billion Idaho Central Credit Union in Chubbuck, planned to steal an additional $23,000, but returned it after learning of an unexpected audit, according to a police probable cause affidavit. I don't know what I can't talk today, y'all. These things got me flabbergasted. All my gases is flabber today, y'all. I'm telling you, all my gases is flabber. Because they out here playing around. They out here really playing around. They really are. After the audit, an internal investigation led by ICCU Vice President of Branch Performance, Josh Ross, a Lewistown Police Department investigators arrested Macy L. Wymore, 31, of Clarkston, who has been charged with grand theft. She was released on a $10,000 bond. Wymore is expected to appear in court for a preliminary conference in August. So she tried to give it back, y'all, before that unexpected audit popped up. Right? She tried to give it back. She tried it. She tried it. Because, like I said, a lot of the audits, some of the audits, you don't know when they're coming. I used to hate when audit time was coming because, a lot of times we know, especially when the NUCA coming, because they'll have a list this long with what all folders they want you to pull. There can be loan folders, just member folders, to make sure that we put when we open up account that we got all the documentation, the right documentation. Loan folders to make sure that their pay stubs, credit reports, all supporting documents. They want to see every single thing. When they say the check's supposed to bounce, the checks is supposed to bounce, and they checking it with a fine-tooth comb, right? So she done got popped with a surprise audit, and she know they pulling anything that looks suspicious. They're going to ask for this report. They're going to want the most recent loans that was given. They're going to probably go back a few months or even 6 months back to see, pull me a loan from there, just a random loan, right? Just to make sure that everything is cool. That's what them auditors do. I actually wanted to be a credit union auditor because I like it. It's I like auditing. So ICCU's internal investigation determined there were shortages of cash from the vault and an electronic dispenser note acceptor at the Lewiston branch. The credit union's investigation included reviewing surveillance footage from inside the branch, reviewing logs from the vault, the eDNA machines, and interviewing employees. So the eDNA machines, I used to have one at the credit union I worked at. Those machines, you just type it in and they just spit the money out at you. It's a vault itself. So it's like having a like a teller drawer. It's like a tellerless drawer. Like you just type in whatever the cash is that you need, and it'll give it to you. If you got to make a withdrawal out of that, you just type it in and it'll give it to you. It's just like an ATM inside, but it's a little teller machine. So she was getting money out the vault and out the machine. And she was doing this from December of 2023 to June of 2024. She stole this amount since then, $63,400. There was video surveillance of an additional theft of more than $20,000. However, she returned the cash the following day when she learned of an unexpected audit, according to the police affidavit. It said, Wymore volunteered to come to work. I would have called in that day, despite it not being her regularly scheduled time to work, to assist with the audit. Wymore returned the money during that time. She was, oh boy, can you imagine being on your day off and somebody call you and be like, girl, they got us an unexpected audit. They got the auditors up here. It's like, what? Auditors coming? Oh, I got to go up there and help. That's like a credit thing on Friday. She get fired on her day off. You going to jail on your day off. The affidavit did not identify Wilmar's job title or her responsibilities at the credit union's branch, but she was fired in June. So she was just fired last month. I'm willing to bet that because she's all up in the vault, that she was a lead teller. I'm willing to bet she was a lead teller, or she, like I said, she was one of them, because everybody don't have access to the vault. Everybody in the bank don't have access to the vault. Only lead tellers can usually go into the vault and actually get out cash. Only the lead teller usually have that kind of access. Even, just a regular teller just can't go up in the vault either. The lead teller, if like say, I have my cash drawer and I'm out of $1,000 in 20s. I need $1,000 in 20s. I gotta get an order. I gotta order that from the vault. And so the lead teller goes in after they get the order, and they go in and get the money for me and bring it back. Or we may go in there together. It just depends on how the credit union is set up. They may have a dual control system. So I'm willing to bet she was a lead teller or someone, because even the branch manager cannot just go up in the vault. It's dual control on a lot of that stuff. So I'm willing to bet she was a lead teller because she had access to the eDNA machine and the vault. So she probably was a lead teller. When Ross interviewed Wilmar, she alleged admitted to removing more than $20,000 from the eDNA machine, taking the cash to her desk, and placing it in her personal bag. She also admitted to Ross she did so probably intended to steal the cash, but then decided to return it. After determining the stolen cash didn't appear to be circulating back through Wiremore's ICU account, the credit union's BSA team, that's the Bank Secrecy Act people, contacted the 2.2 billion P1 FCU in Lewiston via its participation in the 314B program of the USA Patriot Act, which allows financial institutions to share information to identify possible criminal activity. So she got an account with another credit union, and she was putting this stolen money over there. She wasn't putting the money in her account where she worked at. She had another credit union that she dealt with. Okay. And see, a lot of people don't think that other financial institutions talk to each other, but they do. The Wiremore's P1 FCU account information from November 2023 to June of 2024 shows she made cash deposits and loan payments amount to more than $61,000. When Wilmore was interviewed by police, she admitted to stealing $40,000 to $45,000 from ICCU during 2 to 3 separate occasions. Wilmore admitted to using some of the stolen money to buy hay for her pole horses, pay off and make payments on multiple loans, lines of credits, pay off multiple credit cards, and buy a grave spot headstone for her husband's grandmother, according to the police affidavit. Now, all that sound like you was robbing the rich and giving it to the poor type stuff. That's what it sounds like. It's like you were robbing the credit union because you got bills. Well, what you doing with your check? Because if you're stealing the money from the credit union, what you doing with your check? Now, you ain't going to just throw the horses under the buses. You ain't going to do the horses like that because you out here stealing. And then the gravestone for your husband's grandmother. Come on now. You just trying to play the sympathy card. Now, she also said all of the stolen money had been spent. Of course, just like all them other people that's on here that talking about they got paid restitution or whatever, that money been gone. Yeah, that money been gone. It's out of there. Because of greed. This and right here. Wow, she's going to prison for greed. Yep. That's what she headed to. That's where she's headed to. What they say, do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to jail. That's where she's going. She going straight to jail. I hate to be the one to tell her. But she's an idiot. She was on borrowed time anyway, though. She do it. That's why when that unexpected audit popped up, that's probably why they had an audit. Her dumb butt. That's probably why they had an audit. They probably already was suspicious about something going on with that teller, with that vault and everything. Something probably wasn't adding up. That's probably why they had that unexpected audit. I guarantee it. That's probably why. That's probably why. So we done been to New York. We done been to Idaho. We done been to Maryland. We done been to Shreveport. I try to make sure I done covered all of them. It's so many of them. It's so many. You can't keep up with them. I said did I say we done been to Maryland? I know we've been to Maryland. Oh, and this dude right here talking about this the one that had me laughing. When I read this one, y'all, I really hollered. I swear I did. And I ain't it's the stupidity for me. It really is. Because you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. This one right here. This dude right here, this Curtis Davis. He was the third person they locked up. And that Georgia one. He was the third person. Georgia police said Wednesday, third person Curtis Davis, 40, has been arrested in the ongoing $800,000 fraud investigation of a former Neighbor Federal Credit Union employee, which also involves Neighbor Federal accounts belonging to the street gang member and a dead man. This portion of the investigation revealed that 2 checks totaling $122,225.98 was deposited into the NFCU account belonging to Christopher Upshaw, who is currently incarcerated in a federal prison. The Columbus Police Department said in a prepared statement, surveillance footage captured former NFCU employee Stephen Variant depositing both checks once, with Davis providing the check. Now, this is the dude that pled not guilty. The other check was deposited while Variant used innocent customers as cover due to the presence of video surveillance. So he was using innocent customers because this dude was working there at the time. Davis has been charged with forgery and theft by deception. In May, CPD's investigators arrest Warren, who worked at a Navy Federal Columbus branch as a member representative. Like I said, he was a teller. He was initially charged with 15 felony counts of forgery. Here we go. ID theft, ID fraud, theft, computer crimes. I told you, when they start racking up them charges, it ain't just for them checks, honey. They finna get you for all of it. And with 14 additional criminal charges of theft, forgery, and ID fraud. He going to big boy jail. Going to federal jail. So they said the police investigators right here also reported that funds were withdrawn from Upshaw's Navy Federal account via cashier check, ATM withdrawals, and counter cash withdrawals. And this is the dude that pled now guilty. Davis was reported on multiple occasions receiving cash from Varian. Additional bank records indicate that Davis deposited cash from one of the cashier's checks withdrawn from Upshaw's NFCU account into his own private bank account. Now, how dumb can you be to do it at your own bank account? If you're going to be a criminal, don't be a dumb one. Good grief. A second Neighbor Federal account, which is also part of the fraud investigation, belonged to Jermaine Thurkett, 18, who was killed during a shooting incident in November of 2023, which remains under investigation. This thing's getting real nasty, y'all. It really is. They even saying is what here up here says gang related. They got some gang relations going on. A street gang member. Navy involves Navy Federal accounts belonging to a street gang member and a dead man. With the assistance of NFCU internal investigators, our detectives identified at least 8 NFCU accounts that are involved in the fraudulent activity, CPD said. Navy Federal detected the suspicious activity and immediately reported to CPD, which launched its investigation back in February. Variant, who had been working at Navy Federal since 2017, according to his LinkedIn page. So, because of your LinkedIn page, you've been working there since 2017. You knew better. That's why they're gonna throw the book at you, bro. Who just laughing with the fish? Bionic woman. That's why they gonna throw the book at you, dummy. Yep. That's why they're gonna throw the book at you. And this one right here, Demetrius Reading, he was the second person to that's his mug shot. He was the second person in that same ring. Georgia police reported a second person was arrested last week in connection to an ongoing fraud investigation of Navy Federal Credit Union member service representative who allegedly attempted to cash more than $800,000 fraudulent checks on member accounts. Demetrius Redding, 46, no better, he my age, was arrested on July 6th for allegedly helping former Navy Federal employee Stephen Variant with depositing 4 stolen checks totaling $480,000 and $480, 100. I can't talk, y'all. I done gave up. I done gave up trying to talk today. My words have been getting so tired because I told you I've been so flabbergasted with this foolishness. I can't talk. I can't. These people got me tongue-tied because this stuff is crazy. This stuff is just as crazy. I just can't. I can't. It's foolishness at this point. It's foolishness. Because this dude right here, almost $500,000 in various accounts. 46 years old. Same group. 14 additional charges, theft, forgery, ID fraud. Same group. I just can't even get it out because it's so stupid. It's so stupid. And I guarantee you, these guys, because they thought they was working with a federal or one of the Navy Fed employees, thought that they was gonna get away with this stuff. Just a bunch of dummies. Like I said, they got internal auditors, they got the regulators, they got internal investigators for all this stuff. I don't understand how you can work in a credit union for 7 years since 2017, and I know that they have all this stuff on lock when it comes to that stuff. I don't understand it. And that goes for that lady too. I don't understand how you can work or be a lead teller or whatever it is that you were doing, and I know you was and just not know that you was going to get caught. How you not know that? Y'all give me some comments. I'm about to get off of here. It didn't. I told y'all it done got me tongue-tied. I can't even talk no more because it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. People just throwing their life away for nothing. You know, they really are. They just throwing their life away for nothing. Does anybody got any questions before I get off the live? I sure do appreciate y'all joining me. Also, guys, if y'all want to join the Credit Ready program, the QR code is right here on the side, $5 a month. Y'all can join the community. We are right now doing our book club, about to have our book club meeting for our July book read this coming Sunday. Also, if y'all want to book any consultations, you can go to my website, QR code at the top, starcarter.com. If y'all want to book consultation, want to sign up for my newsletter, all that good stuff, you can go to starcarter.com. But I do appreciate everybody. If y'all don't have anything else, y'all can, I'm probably going to link all of these once this live is over. I'm probably going to link all these articles if y'all wish to read them yourselves. But good God, y'all just be careful out there. Make sure y'all are freezing y'all's credit reports, because you don't never know what the devil is, honey. You don't know if they're up there in the financial institution, somebody overseas trying to steal your identity, or somebody in your house trying to steal your identity. So make sure y'all have y'all credit reports froze. All three, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Make sure you got them froze. Go on my channel. I got videos showing you how to freeze your credit reports. I got videos showing you how to go on annualcreditreport.com and check your full credit profile. Okay, not just looking at your Credit Karma score, not just looking at that. I'm talking about looking at your full credit report to make sure that everything on there is accurate. Whenever you have this is another thing too. When you are looking at your credit report and you see different variants of your name, like my name is Star Carter. If I go on my credit report and I see Carter Star as a name on my credit report, that means somebody tried to apply for credit that way. Those how those name variants get on your credit report in the first place, because that means somebody tried to apply that way under your name. Okay, so if your name is showing up 15 million ways, but your name is this, but it's all kind of variants, somebody's gonna try to apply for credit in your name in those different ways, or you done try to apply for credit in that way, in those different ways. Okay, so just make sure that you are checking all of that information on a regular basis, and make sure you're checking it for your elder people too, because that's who they go after the first. As I was saying, that's who they go after first. It's older people. They want to steal the older people's identity because they're not checking it. They're not on it all the time. These people chilling. You know, they're not on these apps and all this stuff all the time. So therefore, we got to make sure that we're protecting our elders as well. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate my CRP members that showed me some love and popped in on me. Y'all have a good rest of your Sunday, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.